So listen to this. Back in 2002, Bolton was so bad, one pundit bet their fans that he'd shave off his mustache if they didn't get relegated. That was a big mistake, because what he didn't know was that their manager Sam Allardyce was friends with Billy Beane. You know the movie Moneyball? Yeah, that guy. Following his blueprint, Big Sam figured out a way to hack the transfer markets, slowly building a budget super team, mathematically finding perfect signings. And 4 months later, he hit the jackpot. Bolton had signed JJ Okocha, the most expensive African player of all time, for pennies. Suddenly, the entire Premier League was scared. They had never seen anyone like him. JJ was an African showboating, freestyling demigod. I would call him the African Ronaldinho, but really, Ronaldinho was the Brazilian Okocha. As the legend goes, he taught him everything he knew. That's what made him one in a billion, because no one had taught JJ anything. He wasn't even supposed to be a footballer. At 16, as a high school graduation gift, JJ got tickets to visit one of his brother's friends in Germany. It was supposed to be all sightseeing, except that friend was a third division football player. Sitting in the stands, bored of watching him train, JJ asked if he could join. The coach laughed and said, "Sure, if you think you can keep up." But after 1 hour of pure magic, the coach was begging him to come back the next day. 2 weeks later, JJ signed his first contract. 1 year after that, Dragoslav Stepanovic, manager of Eintracht Frankfurt, saw him training and asked what he did when he wasn't playing. JJ replied, "Sleeping." Stepanovic said, "Then, instead of sleeping, come train with us." 1 year later, JJ barely resembled the kid who landed in Germany. In his words, "I never knew I was black until I got to Germany." The racism he faced fueled him. "I felt the only way to hit back was to humiliate them on the pitch." And humiliate them he did. When he faced Oliver Kahn, he made him dance. 30 years later, Kahn admitted he was still dizzy. Klopp called it the most spectacular goal in German football history. Newspapers wrote, Beckenbauer, Baresi, Kohler, all the man markers of the world could have stood there and all would have been outdanced by him. In a blink, JJ was lifting the African Cup of Nations with Nigeria, making team of the tournament despite being benched for most of it. That didn't change much at the World Cup until Nigeria faced Baggio's Italy in the round of 16. JJ broke the record for most dribbles in a World Cup match. Nigeria led until the 88th minute, then Baggio scored twice. That became JJ's curse. Every time things looked good, something disastrous happened. The next year, JJ started with 26 goal contributions in 29 matches, earning a Ballon d'Or nomination, only for his teammate to get caught in a carjacking scandal. The club collapsed. He was transfer listed as Nigerian dictator Sani Abacha banned his players from the African Cup of Nations. Out of nowhere, JJ hit rock bottom. He moved to Turkey just a year after being one of Europe's brightest stars. His comeback chance came in the 1996 Olympics. Nigeria's team had no funding. Players paid their hotel bills out of pocket. They called themselves the Dream Team. They wanted to make their people proud. JJ led them past Mexico with a volley from outside the box, setting up a semi-final versus Brazil. Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos, Rivaldo, Bebeto. Down 2 goals with 12 minutes left, they came back. JJ's throw-in led to Kanu's equalizer. In extra time, Nigeria beat Brazil. Then came Argentina. JJ and the Dream Team came back from behind twice to win gold, the first African nation to do so. For JJ, it was rebirth. At Fenerbahce, JJ became a god. His debut, 30-yard free kick. 10 days later, lifted the ball over a defender and volleyed it in. 6 matches in, he destroyed Galatasaray 4-0. By the end of the month, 3 more screamers. He ended United's European home record, from relegation to Ballon d'Or nomination number 2. 28 goal contributions in 33 games, from midfield. But Fener lost the title, and JJ got injured as they choked the final matches. When Fener sold him to PSG for 17 million euros, fans rioted. He was the Turkish league's biggest ever sale, the French league's biggest signing, the most expensive African player ever, and PSG's fans expected Weah 2.0. Subscribe now before JJ nutmegs your Wi-Fi and disappears your internet connection. JJ's PSG debut, screamer, then a bicycle kick for the club's 2,000th goal. But chaos followed. Managers came and went. PSG got eliminated from every competition. JJ got booed. Still, he reinvented himself as a box-to-box midfielder, leading PSG back to the Champions League. But they lost the French Cup final to a second-tier team. PSG signed Pochettino, Anelka, Arteta, Heinze, and a young Brazilian named Ronaldinho. Imagine, Okocha mentoring Ronaldinho while Anelka played between them. The hype was insane, but fate was cruel. JJ got injured. Anelka lost it and forced a move to Liverpool. The trio played together only twice. JJ, now 28, saw his prime flash before his eyes. Ronaldinho's rise made JJ expendable. PSG let him go to avoid paying a €1 million bonus. Enter Sam Allardyce. Back then, Big Sam was a visionary. Obsessed with data science, inspired by Moneyball, he used stats to find undervalued players. He signed Djorkaeff, Campo, Yero, Candela, all legends people thought were finished. But JJ Okocha was his masterpiece. Nobody believed JJ would sign for Bolton. Even Sam admitted he didn't think it would happen. But JJ called saying, "I'm driving from Paris to Bolton to sign." In his first press conference, a journalist told him, "You should be at Real Madrid, not Bolton." JJ smiled. He'd prove them wrong. 6 months later, Bolton were near relegation, but JJ exploded. He scored against Sunderland and Tottenham, assisted versus Man City, then scored the goal of the season versus West Ham to save them. Fans voted it Bolton's best goal ever. He rainbow-flicked Ray Parlour versus Arsenal, scored the final day winner versus Middlesbrough, and saved Bolton from relegation. The crowd chanted, "JJ, so good they named him twice." Next season, he became captain and turned Bolton into a nightmare for big clubs. Tottenham feared him. Commentators called his performance a lesson in the art of football. One man versus an entire team. Bolton finished 8th, their best in 44 years. JJ led them to the League Cup final, scoring 2 free kicks in the semis against Aston Villa. Even in defeat, he was electric. Then came the golden chapter. JJ joined Nigeria for AFCON, took the Golden Boot, and Player of the Tournament. Back with Bolton, he led them to 6th, securing UEFA Cup football. In Europe, he took them through a group with Sevilla and Zenit, nearly beating Marseille in the round of 16 at 32 years old. He left Bolton as their greatest player ever, but JJ's story didn't end there. After Bolton, he became a legend off the pitch too. Young African players worshipped him. His flair wasn't just entertainment, it was rebellion. Every nutmeg was a statement against the game's rigid order. "Why can't football be art?" he once said. That spirit lived on through Ronaldinho, Neymar, even Pogba. In 2010, when asked about the best dribbler he ever faced, Ronaldinho laughed. JJ Okocha, easy. Even now, his highlights go viral every few months. Kids who weren't even born when he played watch his clips and say, "This man was magic." He turned humiliation into joy, pressure into rhythm, data-driven football into poetry. JJJ didn't just beat defenders, he hypnotized them. He didn't play the game, he danced it. And that's why the legend of Okocha still glows. JJ Okocha is proof that football is art, science, and soul in one body. A man who went from street kid to Olympic gold, from relegation battles to redefining showmanship. He played with no fear, no ego, just freedom. And that's rare. In a world obsessed with stats and structure, JJ was chaos. Beautiful, joyful chaos. Maybe that's why, to this day, every Nigerian uncle still says, "You see that boy? He's good, but he's no Okocha." Smash that subscribe button before Bolton signs you for 50 pence and makes you captain of vibes. So the next time you see a step over, a cheeky flick, or a player smiling mid-dribble, remember, before all of them, there was JJ Okocha, the man so good they named him twice.